I've never seen someone I love pass like that. And it was just so, death is so raw, right? Like, you don't think it's raw, but when you see it firsthand, to see someone turn blue like that, I'm like, what the? It was crazy.
Welcome back to the Hopeaholics Podcast. I'm your girl, Natalie Eva Marie.
And I'm Chad Carlson, and you're listening to the #1 addiction and mental health podcast.
And you guys, if you or a loved one is struggling, make sure you head to askevamarie.com or chaddick.com and chat with one of our AI companions 24/7.
Or text the number right here on the screen.
Together, we are breaking the stigma around addiction and mental health.
And fighting the fentanyl epidemic.
Now, let's get into the episode.
Let's get this party started, right?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes, let's go.
Welcome to the Hopeaholics Podcast.
So excited to be here. I'm literally trying to like calm my nerves. It's funny, like we were having this conversation and like now like you said welcome. I'm like, oh, okay. It's real now. Oh.
Yeah, it's official.
Yeah, it's official. The nerves are excitement and whatever the other nerves we get, anxiety. They're the same. So we'll just say you're super excited to be here.
Super excited, definitely. Yeah. I'm going to psych my psyche out right now.
There you go.
Yes.
So where are you from?
I'm from the Bronx, born and raised. My family, they came from the Dominican Republic when my mom was about 13. My dad was 18. And we've been in the Bronx my whole life.
They came together?
They did not. No, they didn't. They actually met in the Bronx.
In the Bronx?
Yeah.
Nice.
They met in the Bronx. Yeah. Okay. My dad, I think he was 5 years older than my mom. My mom definitely had me at a young age, though. She had me at 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then my dad was 20. It was like, the talk of the Bronx. But I think that was normal back then as well. So it wasn't like too much of a big deal. Yeah.
Siblings?
I do. I am the oldest. I have a little sister and a little brother.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
So, what was I going to say? They speak Spanish in
They do.
in Dominican
Yeah.
Republic?
Yes, they speak Spanish in the Dominican Republic. Yeah.
Don't mind him.
I just want to make sure they didn't speak Portuguese.
Oh, no.
No.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My mom's first language was that. Go figure, that was my first language as well. So I learned with her. Okay. So I remember when I was in kindergarten, I was actually in the bilingual class. Because my first language was Spanish. So I was in there with all the kids that only spoke Spanish. And then I transitioned into English.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now you're fluent.
I'm fluent, yes. Even though like I feel like it's Spanglish for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it can just cross over.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
I know this is a silly question, but I always wonder because Spanish was your first language. Do you remember dreams? And if you do remember dreams, do you ever remember which language you're hearing your dream in?
I don't know why, but they're always in English.
Are they?
Yeah, I guess it's like American dreams. I'm assuming,
That's crazy. I never really thought of that.
I never thought.
I
of
always
that.
think about that with people that speak
Or
a different
multiple,
language.
like different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like Frank, my brother-in-law, he dreams in French.
Wow.
Because French is his first language.
Actually, that's nuts.
That is.
A lot of my dreams, people aren't really talking. We're just
Yeah.
cruising through. But I do have.
Story.
Yeah. It's a weird. Dreaming is weird though.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Even I'm thinking of your thoughts. Like, if your first language is.
That's actually something too.
Like my thoughts are both.
Both?
Yeah, both. But I guess it depends like on the situation, right?
And what
like,
you're thinking
and
about.
what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Then it'll like transition to Spanish. And if it's, I guess,
That's funny because I only say, I mean, I wish I could. I really, truly do wish I spoke another language. That would be awesome.
That's where I think the other countries have over us.
Yes.
They speak literally like three. Three is a minimum. They speak usually like 3, 4 to up to 5 different languages.
And
it's
everybody almost speaks English. in
Yeah, like
other
it's
countries.
automatic. Like they have to
yes.
learn English and then plus their language.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
It
That's not something that's done here though.
Which I think is a miss.
It's definitely a miss.
It is.
We like when I was in high school, they had stopped that making it that where you had to take a language. I don't think my kids took a language. I don't think. No, Cooper did. Cooper was like in AP Spanish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It does suck though, right? Because I guess as generations get older, like my kids, I have 3. I have a 13-year-old, a 5, and a 3-year-old. They understand Spanish, but they can't speak it.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's something like, and you see that with first generation, like the people who are here, like now it's really hard to teach your kids the second language, especially like if everything is English, like they'll understand the Spanish, but they don't want to practice it. It's difficult. Yeah.
You literally caught me off guard right there. You have a 13-year-old child?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Whoa.
So, okay. So
I had
you
him at 21. Yes.
Okay.
The thing is, though, is I'm looking at her and I'm thinking she's like 22.
Me too.
I really
You
like
look
that.
super young.
Like,
Thank you.
you
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Right? Good
are,
skin.
yeah.
Bomb. I'll
Thank
say
you.
it. You know.
Go ahead.
It's
Yeah.
beef tallow. I'm telling you, I be using
What?
beef tallow.
Really?
I love beef tallow, man.
Really?
Yes. I
All right,
use it
we're all
the time.
we're
Yeah,
all
we're all
gonna-
ordering
we're
it.
all ordering
Podcast.
some beef tallow.
Immediately.
Which brand do you use?
Yeah. For real.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, she was
She was an infant.
She was 10.
I get that a lot. I get that.
wow.
Yeah.
Soak it in. Take it in.
I know. I feel
Okay.
like
You got any questions to ask
do.
her while I soak this in?
Yeah, I do. Because your handle, Sins of My Father pod.
yeah.
Explain the name
So
and how that even kind of came about.
So I lost my dad to an overdose over a year ago. He was battling with opioid and heroin addiction for my whole life, I believe.
wow.
Yes, but he was clean for a very long time. And unfortunately, he found out that he had oral cancer, and he was also a construction worker. So it's like, I feel like it took a hit on his soul in a sense. Like, he started getting sicker, and I think his self-esteem just took a huge hit, and he went back. And I remember this was like a few months prior to him passing. He was in rehab, and he was like, I'm ready. Like, let's do this. Like, let's build our relationship. Let's do this. And this is also when I started getting into spirituality. And one of my main things was I wanted to kind of shine a light on how his own demise kind of came from him thinking how bad of a person he was. And he would always say, you don't know what I've done, like sins.
Sure.
All these sins that were eating him up inside. And I actually told him, I was like, "Bah, let's start a podcast. Like, I think that you would be so inspiring to so many people. Like, you're trying to get clean. We got this. Like, let's really talk about the pressures of being a man, a Latin man in the Bronx, trying to fight addiction, mental health, all these things." He was so for it. I told him the name and he loved it. Unfortunately, he passed like 2 months after, and it stuck with me. So I'm like, okay, do I really want to do this without him? I was in a tug of war, right? Because I can't fully say I know his whole story, right? But I do know my story, and I know my story with him. And me and him, they always say, like, I am my father's daughter. Literally, like, he was the ray of sunshine, but you could tell he was holding so much in. And it wasn't just the weight of himself. I think it was the weight of our family, like financial problems, not being able to be there as a man physically as well after he got sick. So it was all these pressures. And I'm like, we have to shed a light and try to take some of that off, you know, like release that energy so that maybe you can finally see what I see in you. And that's the name, Sins of My Father. Yeah.
I love it. When did you start it?
I started it back, I believe it was April or March.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done about only 3 episodes. And I kind of like stopped after I moved because I transitioned from the Bronx and I moved to Jersey.
Okay.
And in that transition, I'm like, okay, I don't think I can move into my new house and do a podcast and this with 3 kids, all this other stuff, right? And I still have a day job. So I came to the realization actually recently that when I launched the podcast as well, I feel like I still had so much grief. And I feel like when you build a foundation on anything on my podcast, like if it's on grief, what am I really trying to tell people, right? Like I feel like I didn't want the message to come across like I'm over here venting. And yeah, venting is great, but I need a positive message here. So I think I went through this transition of healing and letting go of all the hurt that I had after losing my dad. And now I'm in this phase where I'm like, okay, I can finally see my story, not from a lens of victimhood, but more of a uplifting, like, look at where I'm at here. Like, to me, I'm super grateful to be even on this podcast. This is something like that people dream of. And I came from the Bronx. I'm a Latina. I'm 34 years old, and I'm hella freaking proud at the fact that look at what I'm doing. Like, family members of mine, they would be like, oh, you're crazy. Like, how can you put yourself out there like that? Because I genuinely feel like people just want to hide. They want to hide behind their shame. They want to hide behind their sins versus facing it head on. Like, I'm not perfect, and I am okay with letting people know I'm not perfect.
I think that's like the most powerful thing is once each individual can actually hone that in and own all of their imperfections, because we are all equally forgiven by the one. So it's like once you can,
I got chills.
once you can, like, and I get it, getting there is difficult, but once you can, it's the most freeing thing ever.
Agreed.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that, like, recovery in general, in and of itself, like, for people like Natalie and I who, you know, suffered with addiction and alcoholism, and then were able to get through it to the other side, and we really had to take a look at ourselves and our sins, you know, because that's the second part of it, right? The first part for us in the 12-step program is finding a power greater than yourself that can, like, help you walk through these difficult things that you're going to have to look at that internally, and stop blaming other people for your life and grasping the reins of it. But that's the second part. And then there's a third part where we've got to go make amends to the people that we've actually harmed.
Yes.
You know, and the ones that, and there's going to always be people that you can't make amends to. So you've got to figure out a way to make indirect amends.
Forgiving yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yourself has to be one of the first people.
Yeah.
I didn't even put myself on my very first 8th step list. I did not have myself on it.
Me neither.
And
Why?
I didn't even think to put myself on it. And I took my list to my sponsor, and and he said, "You got I handed it to him. He's like, hey, everybody you've harmed is on there. You're sure of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's everybody right there." And he said, "Well, you forgot one. I can tell you for sure."
Ugh.
And I said, "Who?" And he said, "Yourself." He said, "Your name should be at the very top of the list because you've done a lot of harm and damage to yourself." And the truth is that for me, I'm the hardest one to forgive. Of
course.
You know, I still, like, have lots of guilt and shame. I utilize it to my advantage to never do that again.
Do you think that also kind of like is an imprisonment in a sense? Like that shame that constantly like lingers back there. Like, yes, okay, because of my shame, I won't have a drink or I won't have this, but that shame also kind of takes away from that self-love, right?
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that all those types of things we tell ourselves that are, to me, from the devil, they're a lie. Like, they're not the
that's not
word of truth.
Yes.
And so it's like the devil likes to capitalize on our weaknesses because that's what we are each of us, I think, are our own worst critic. So it's like those moments of weakness is a great moment to pull you back to that dark side where we all have it. You know, we have the good and the evil voices. So it's very important to try to negate that one, which is so hard. And that's why it's like whether it's your spiritual journey or whatever recovery program or something, that's why it is we get the daily reprieve, because it's a constant effort to stay connected to the Holy One.
Yeah. And so it's interesting, though, how I see it just a little bit differently, right? And the reason being is I've grappled with good and evil.
Sure.
It's like I was raised super Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Communion
Same.
and everything. Like, you had to.
Girl, I had a quinceañera.
Oh my God, look at that. Like, I had my sweet 16, and I remember I had like the priest there, like everything, like all these things. And I also feel like that good and evil part of it is kind of what hurt me a lot.
Sure.
Because behind that evil part of you, there is a part of you that just wants to be seen. Like, what is it? Why am I addicted? Why do I want this drink? What is it that my shadow self is trying to tell me? So I've quieted that shadow self for years, up until my dad and everything, because I kind of needed to understand my psyche. I'm like, there is something behind here. Like, what is it that she felt? Why do I feel this way? And it was that loneliness. Like, I felt alone. I felt unseen. I felt unheard. I was always silent when someone heard my feelings, or if I wasn't picked to be like someone's friend. And it was up until like I faced my own addiction, right, head on, that I realized it wasn't even about the addiction. I was trying to quiet my shadow for so many years. And that was the only way that I could quiet it. And once the addiction, I'm like, okay, let me take power away from the addiction. It was as if I gave power back to my shadow self to finally speak up and say, no, I don't want to be quiet anymore. I want people to see me. I want to use my voice for this. And if you do this to me, I'm going to have to try to numb it with alcohol or this or that, you know? And that's kind of what I've been grappling with the good and evil. And I remember that when I started on my spiritual journey, right? Because I love crystals.
Okay.
Like, I love crystals.
Yeah.
I have a moldavite here. And, you know, quinceañera, right? Like Latinos, they think if you like anything that's crystal,
I know.
oh my, brujeria.
Yes,
That's it.
exactly.
It's brujeria. What are you doing? ¿Qué está pasando? All this other stuff. And I'm like, no. Yeah, witches, like witchcraft. And I'm like,
letting the evil spirits in, like
like all these things. And I'm like, no, I just really like crystals. Like, I like the herb. Like, I want to ground myself.
Sure.
All this other stuff. And the way that when I brought this up to my family members, I remember this, like, they said, you need to go to church. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'm like, but I'm trying to find power within myself versus trying to quiet the hurt, quiet the shame, quiet the sins, you know? And that is something that has caused a ripple within my family, right? Because it's one thing to be super Catholic, but it's another to go into your spiritual self and just know that you are connected to the one, and to state that even if I have all these sins, even if I have all this shame, I am still loved, I am still holy, I am still one, right? That causes ripples. That causes like shaking, like, no, that's not the right way to do it.
For
you
sure.
know?
And that's why I love that we always say on the podcast is like, there is not one specific right way to connect to your higher power. And like, I understand, especially I think that anyone in like the Latin culture and was raised, you know, Catholic and do the whole thing, it's very rigid. And it's like, I know he experienced it, not Catholic, but what is it, Seventh-day Adventist?
Seventh-day Adventists.
Where it's like, it's very much in a Catholic church. It's like, I was raised where it's a very punishing God. You know, if you do bad, it's like, oh, I'm going to hell.
I'm hell automatically.
Yeah. And
my dad struggled with that so much.
It's hard.
It's hard. So after he passed, I actually had one of his journals, and it broke my heart, because in the journal, it was like, he was trying to convince himself, and it was like, I am good, I am good, I'm good. And I was like, oh, do you know where your mind has to be for you to believe that you're not good? Like that. And I was like, why did he feel that way? And it was, I think it was the strictness. Like, he couldn't deviate from a certain way,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
He was put in a box, and I feel like what he wanted to do was kind of like fly, but it was so hard as a man in the Latin
For
culture.
sure.
Like, any sign of weakness, it's as if
Yep.
you're like, are you really a man? And I'm
Right.
like, oh, that's not even what masculinity is.
At all.
Right.
And that's where I think the pendulum has shifted to a degree that it's importance, because masculinity is, there's so many things flying around there now about it, but it's like where I think the era of us growing up, it was very looked down upon for any type of emotion or a man confronting their demons, where it's like they're just supposed to be these like stone, like they got it. They're the ones that are providing and doing all of the things, which is very, very still important.
Yes.
But it also has a massive impact on their daily life, you know, and a lot of them can't.
They can't cry.
Right.
Right? Like, they feel bad.
And then they'll feel shame with that.
Yes.
So it's like really messed up to males, I think, because what happens is, especially if you have the ism, that's why we all usually pick up and use, is because to quiet that voice and to quiet that that darkness that's within us, so that we can portray something that is not really essentially there. It's very surface level.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, behind closed doors, you're essentially dying.
Yes.
And that's why I think it's so powerful for like yourself to start your podcast and speak about not only your father, but your own experiences, because it's like, if we don't talk about it, then other people are walking around thinking that they're alone, and they're not. That's couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, I agree. I think that loneliness is something that gets you.
For sure.
Like, me doing this podcast and like being with you guys, I remember I was thinking, I'm like, oh, if Papi would have been here, if Papi would have seen this, like, for him to know that he wasn't alone, like, the trajectory of his life could have changed. And that loneliness gets you.
But you know what you're going to do is exactly what he did, is taking such a tragedy and such a heavy pain for not only yourselves and for him and his family and stuff, but like your father's legacy and his name is going to continue on, not through your voice. And so he's going to not be forgotten about, because he's going to save so many other people, other men's lives. Just how Justin brought me personally into what I feel I'm fulfilling my purpose. I've never been more peaceful in my entire life, and so content with talking about something that I used to be so shameful for. So it's like this young boy passed tragically from the fentanyl crisis that's going on, but yet something beautiful has birthed, because we get to meet someone like yourself. We get to talk about your father through passing through a tragedy of something that we've all suffered with, but are like, you know, walking towards the light, but also influencing the masses that tune in to listen, because ultimately the world is struggling with loneliness and painfulness and whatever. That doesn't have to be addiction. It could just be feeling alone and left out. And we're here to shine the light. Like, there's going to be times even in our sobriety, I can speak for him and I, we're like, even today we're on the outside, people can look at us and be like, oh my God, like they're doing great or whatnot, you know,
goodness,
when it's like, no, we work at this diligently every day, but there are days where we feel like not okay or alone, or this isn't like, it's just life, you know, but the foundation has been built so strong that it's like, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And he's right there with us, walking hand by hand, side by side. And I'm not alone.
Exactly. You aren't. I think they're all looking at us from up there.
Like, 100%.
Oh my gosh, look at what we're doing.
Yeah, and I start to, you know, like I'm one of those chills people. That means that one of somebody's down here and touching you. You know, you probably, your dad probably came when you got the chills a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. He probably came and put his hand on your back, on your shoulder.
Yep.
I got the chills like right before you had got the chills. It was kind of funny. You know, I always think those are like little God bump moments where, you know, somebody's down here. And I mean, it's super important. All of this messaging is super important. The message that I'm like getting from you, and it's a message that I as a man, right? Because as men, we have this, we're supposed to be tough. We're supposed to be masculine. We're supposed to be able to handle our feelings and our emotions. That is what we are taught as men, even more so in your culture. Mm-hmm. Like, insanely more, right? It's like like
They call it machista.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Machista. Like it's this like way of being as a man, and if you stray from it, you're like given the side eye, and that in itself brings loneliness.
Yeah. But what it doesn't mean, and the one thing that the message I want to get out to just like men is that it doesn't mean that we can still be insanely masculine. We can still protect our family. We can still provide for our family. We can still do all of these. We can still be amazing to our moms and our wives and our daughters. And we can still cry.
Yes.
You know, do we have to cry in public? We don't have to. I can now. I have zero problem in it. And I can guarantee you there's probably not a man out there that's calling me names. And if they are, it's only because they're hurting inside too.
Yes, exactly.
You know, like we all know what it feels like to hurt inside. Every man knows what it feels like to have his heart broken. You know, just as women know what it feels like. But like we're supposed to when our heart's broken, go have a drink. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Numb it. Numb it. Don't feel it.
Don't feel it. Let's go have somebody dies. Let's pour out some alcohol.
That's literally, yes, that's how it is.
I have a big, it was kind of weird how I grew up. I have this really weird, sense of culture because I grew up in this place where I didn't even know racism existed until I went to the county jail when I was 18 years old. Because I grew up in this culture of I went to a private school and there was everybody. There was there was black people, there was Mexicans, a lot of Filipinos, and I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist community in the Seventh-day Adventist church, and very accepting of everybody. And then I went from this private school to a public school, and there was a lot of Hispanic culture in this school, and that's where. And I kind of found myself in there because they had all the drugs.
Oh man, yeah.
And so I was all up in that mix, you know. And I grew up in the era of gangster rap was just starting, and life was a trip, this was like 88 through, early before 2000s, let's just call it when Tupac died.
Yeah.
And it was all the rave. I think that's also when my dad started. It was right before, I was born in 91, but I believe that was like the era.
And your dad, so you were born in 91, and your dad was 18 when you were born?
20.
20. So
20.
He died when he was 55.
Okay, so your dad's your dad's a little bit older than me, not a lot though. I'm 51 right now. So in 91, I was a junior in high school.
Wow.
A junior.
Yeah, that's right, because my brother graduated in 92.
I graduated, supposed to.
Right. You guys are the same age.
Yeah. I went and got my GED in the county jail.
Listen, you did it, man.
Yeah.
But that's the message that I want to tell to men back, staying on topic is, which is a message that you actually can utilize in your podcast, is that it's okay for men to have feelings. But it also means that you still need to protect your wives. You still need to be the provider, because as men, it inherent in us to take care of our family.
Yes.
It is I'm not sure that I could now that I'm a lot healthier in life, but I'm also in a way different spot. I'm not sure that I could be with somebody that made more money than me unless I was heading in the direction of making more money than her.
Oh, I see what you're saying in the masculinity realm.
It would be a competition.
Sure.
Yeah, it would be
now.
it would be a competition for me. I would have fun with it.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, but when I was young, it was I had to be with somebody from the same
makes sense
space as I am.
Yeah.
Wow. It's funny. So my husband, he was a Marine.
Thank you for his service.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, he was very masculine, and he's Dominican.
Yeah.
So I feel like when we got together, like it was always like our relationship has transitioned completely. And it's funny that you said that about, you know, who makes more money, this and that, but he started like that was his role. He started with that, right? And slowly things have transitioned where now it's me as the provider. And we like it like this because he is tapping into a part of him that he has never been able to, right? Like he grew up in a household where his dad was always working 2 jobs, never saw his dad, right? Now he is so present with our kids. Sure. And it's because of this kind of like flipped, right? And I will say that he is, so I have 2 little girls, and like obviously my son is a teenager now, but with the little girls, I love to see that because I didn't get my dad. Sure. And to see how they are with him, like a girl dad, oh my goodness, it's priceless.
It's super important.
Priceless.
I mean, that's one thing that you hear the most is like, you know, one of the biggest problems in America is that there's not a dad present.
And that was something that I know, like, it affected me. It affected me with my relationships. Sure. With everything. Like, I became hyper independent. Like, it's something that, yes, I would want the man to take care of me, but at the same time, I'm like, I can do this by myself. Like, I didn't have my dad around me, so I had to learn how to I had to learn how to be both male and female.
Sure.
My mom didn't have my dad, so she had to learn how to be both male and female. So it was kind of like I've had to teach myself how to be more soft.
Right.
So it's difficult. I still struggle with it because I don't know how to receive as much, but I'm learning. And I know that he's also learning, my husband, like how to be there, right? Just to not always have to be the provider, but also just be present with our kids. And it's been an amazing transition, honestly. Like our house is like so like loving and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Well, I think that's amazing. And I think like us just kind of talking about it as well, it really highlights the epitome of a marriage. It's a team effort. So like even what you're talking about from a beginning standpoint, the financial was one way and then it flips, but like that's the whole thing is I think in a partnership it's a give and take, you know. Sometimes you'll be giving 90 and he's putting in 10 and then vice versa, and then hopefully, you know, you guys ride 50-50 a lot of the times. But I also think for males is like being in an intimate relationship with your significant other, that's who you be vulnerable with. That's who you let down your guard, because then my job is to lift you back up and to like put you back together so that you put your armor on and then you go step outside and go face and be the masculine man, you know. It's like having those moments of being able to be safe with the other person, because that's what, in my mind, and it could be because I'm going through a divorce, but I'm paying more attention into like the Bible and what the word says, where being soft and having that self-awareness, like as a wife, to allow him to like lead you and to receive his love and to receive it, as opposed to having the wall up constantly like I got this too, I'm good because it's equally both.
I mean, I feel that because like I feel like in my marriage I can go home and tell my wife what's going on with me, and she listens, and you know, if I need to shed a tear, she's good at seeing, totally fine with seeing that, but at the same time she knows that I pick, you know, I'm gonna, what I need from her is just the love and support. You know, I don't need her to fix any. I don't need her to fix anything. I need her to just
be
hug you,
able
love you, love
have
on
that
you.
Space, that open space to be able to speak about it. It's funny. Like I remember my husband did tell me, and this was a few years ago, where he said he didn't feel safe, and I think that was kind of like that hyper independence took it away, and it wasn't that I wasn't open to hearing him. It's just I always wanted to have everything done a certain way, like all this OCD within me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to like relinquish some power.
Right.
And I think that's what's helped him become softer as well. And I've seen such a huge change, because after he got out of the Marines, he also went through such a transition because it was during COVID. He got out of the Marines, it was COVID, no job. and it took a hit. He took a hit. And I guess I didn't understand it too much because I'm always hyper independent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, we got this. I got this. Don't worry, we got this. It was his masculinity, his
identity.
Yes,
like,
everything. Yeah. His whole identity was on, I have to provide for my family, and now I don't have that. How am I going to do this? It was a dark time, but I am so thankful for it because we got through it, and now we're on this other side where he's even launching, he wants to do like a page. It's called A Meal with Humanity. He knows the story with my dad, and he was very close with my dad as well. So he's gone around Patterson, New Jersey, where it's a lot of homeless people, and having conversations, buying them food and having conversations with them so that they have a way to tell their story. And I find that amazing. Like, I love that he's doing it. So we've been doing it for
blow up on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him, but see, my husband, he's not like me.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really want to talk. I don't want to do this. I don't want to take pictures. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on. In order for you to have someone to help these people, we have to put it out there. You have to give them their voice. So it's
and you know
exciting.
what's funny? I was just thinking about this morning because like my biggest fear in life is public speaking. And
I would have never guessed that.
Oh, totally. Totally.
like what?
It's actually probably her biggest fear too.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just try not to say it anymore.
Yeah, take away the power, right? Like,
exactly.
No, don't give it power.
Yeah.
But we like get asked to speak every once in a while, and we like yesterday we had just been in a meeting because we're emceeing an event in Phoenix, and then we got out of the meeting. We did our little podcast Patreon thing, and then I come out, and Catherine's like, so-and-so just asked if you guys want to be the keynote speaker at this conference, at the California Addiction Conference here in Newport Beach. And I was like, my first thought is always like, hell no. No, I do not want to do that. Like, I don't want to do it. but it's God calling me.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So for me, and the same thing like with your husband, like, he doesn't want to do this stuff, but God's literally calling him to do this.
It's a calling, yes.
Like, and however it starts out. Y'all just need to pray together about like, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I when I got to this spot, I was so vulnerable and sad and whatever from Justin dying. I had no intention of ever doing any of this kind of stuff ever again. My Instagram was private. I was being a private person running my treatment centers. Justin died, and God was like, hey, I want you to build a podcast to, be the voice for the people that have lost their lives and offer hope to not just other addicts, but like family that that are going through it, or family that's, has a person that's in addiction, just to give them hope that maybe their loved one can recover too. Because like, I've been given this gift of recovery today. For me, it's a miracle to not get loaded today. Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
Every single day.
And here I am. So anyways, share it, share it. And I started joining this. I found this little movement called Recover Out Loud, and I jumped on board, and here we are, here we are.
And it's amazing when that calling happens. It gets so loud, right? Like, and it's not like you can just put it to the side. No, it gets so loud.
Well, I look at what he's doing is like if it was sitting on his heart to do exactly that, he's like breaking bread like a little disciple.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I think what you just said about what your husband is doing is like, I mean, not so dope is the word I can come up with. It's so cool. It's amazing. It's
I love it. I do.
Like go take somebody that's out there that's hurting, and take them out to lunch and have a conversation.
And have a
with
conversation.
Them. I mean, to be honest with you, all he really has to do is slap on a little microphone on himself. Slap on a little DJI microphone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's hard though. We agree. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, we should be posting and being online, or at least I should for sure. It's just difficult.
It is.
You know? So I get it.
Well, it takes her like 6 hours to post a post, so we'll just leave it there.
I know.
We have
It's actually
somebody
really good.
available that can post for her, though.
I want to know, like,
Oh no, yeah, go
okay.
ahead.
I want to know the like pivotal moment in your journey thus far that you started your like having a spiritual awakening, or like you know, your journey, especially you mentioned crystals and things.
Yeah, so this is the funniest. It's not funny. It's just I feel like it's so kismet. It was it was like electric. It was so in the span of 6 months, I believe it was in 2023, I lost not only my dad, but I also lost my grandfather 6 months prior, right? And my grandfather was the one who was actually in my life, stepped in for me when my dad wasn't there. That's my mom's dad. I remember he was in the hospital, and I was already, like, you know how when your intuition tells you that something is just not right? Yeah, something wasn't right. Unfortunately, he went in, I remember it was November 10th and died November 28th. He was in the hospital for 18 days. And
this episode is brought to you by Wolfpack Bags. This gear is meant for anybody gym, lifestyle, to anybody that's on the move. I mean, I like to say that us here and everybody that tunes in, we're not average. We're always a wolf. They have all the goods that you need, especially for anybody that is looking for a bag to carry their meal prep, a lunch pail, anything like that. They have you covered. So once again, go to wolfpack.com, use the code Hopeaholics, save 10%, and join the pack.
I have chills now only because I saw someone suffer because he didn't also know the language. My grandfather did not speak English, and he was in this hospital system. And they were making all these decisions for him. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, they're not telling him why. They're not telling him this. They're not telling him that. I am a firecracker. Yeah. So I remember it was a light under my ass. And I remember that the nurses, anytime I would come, they would be like, she's here, she's here.
Yeah, yeah,
and it was because I'm like, tell me what's going on. What's happening? Why are things being done this way? If you're giving him this, I go on YouTube. I go on Google. I have to figure out what's going on with my grandfather. Long story short, unfortunately, he had stage 4 cancer, and it had spread everywhere. But what really happened also is that they did a biopsy, and the biopsy ended up going south, where his whole system just collapsed. So to see my grandfather like that, like going in, okay, and then completely just gone. It was the first time ever that I was like, all right, something's not right. Like, I remember when he passed, because we had to pull the plug, that night, I swore I saw him in my bedroom in his gown. And I don't know if it was like PTSD or if it was something, but I saw him in his gown, and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm going crazy. Because it was like the most traumatic experience, right? I've never seen someone I loved pass like that. And it was just death is so raw, right? Like, you don't think it's raw, but when you see it firsthand, to see someone turn blue like that, I'm like, what the? It was crazy. And all I remember, because he had to have like a tube to feed him, all I remember was, I wish that he would have had his last meal. Like, I wish that we would have all had, because he loved food. He loved food. Maybe 2 or 3 days after he passed, I had a dream, and it was with my grandfather, and it was him eating with us, and I'm like, and I remember this vividly, that he was still in his hospital gown in the dream, and he was eating with us, and at the end he was like, it's okay, I'm fine. And it was like, because I had that guilt, man. It was that guilt, like I felt like I didn't save him. I felt like this, I felt like that. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I can't live like this, because I was absorbing all the guilt of my whole family as well, because we were all just like, this can't be right. I've never meditated a day in my life, right? And I don't know what it was. I meditated, and all of a sudden, I start seeing colors. And I don't know if you know about chakras. I started seeing my chakras and all this other stuff and numbers, and I go online. I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm losing it. I think I'm having something is going on. I just started doing a lot of research, and then all these synchronicities started happening. Like back to back weird stuff. Animals started acting weird. I remember like a month after, there was a crow in my apartment building that landed right on my fire escape with like an animal in its mouth. And I was like, oh my God, death is coming. Like, it was so intense. But I think that pushed me into just studying more, meditate. I started meditating like an hour a day. And my husband was like, how can you do that? I was like, I don't know. It was so peaceful. And then more things started coming up because, you know, when you meditate and you really get into your psyche, all the things from your childhood start coming out. Memories from my dad started coming up, memories from my mom, like all these memories. And it was coming up for me to release. And somehow after that, that's when my dad started coming like into my life again, because that's when he had come out of rehab. And then I started telling him about these chakras. And he goes, Angie, I know about this. I've been telling everybody about spirituality for so long, but no one believed me. And he felt so seen. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and that's when we started talking about the podcast and this. And it was just so kismet. It took me for a loop when he passed, because I'm like, how is it that universe is telling me to do all of these things and I lose the two men who I love so much in the span of 6 months? I was distraught, right? And I think that's where I learned, okay, I need to find my voice. I need to give him a voice. I need to give my grandfather a voice. I need to be the voice for Latinos who probably feel like they don't have a voice. And I think that's where a spiritual awakening led me, and it led me right here.
And also yourself, the voice.
Yes. That's something kind of like what he said. He never put himself on the list. And I feel like I always put myself last. I tried to swallow maybe what I want to say because I want to give everyone else their voice. But I'm learning that I need to use my voice as well.
For sure, because like, yes, they both have amazing stories and had massive influence on who you are today. But you also are a woman that had to walk through a lot of fire to get into that seat too.
Thank you for saying that. I agree. That's something I'm learning. Mm-hmm. I'm learning that.
And that's powerful, especially for the community, especially for people that grew up the way that you grew up or with the same background. Because it's very difficult, especially for women.
Yes, it is. It is.
And a lot of them are the ones that are behind the scenes holding it down.
Yes, they are. Mm-hmm. I remember my mom said this to me, and me and my mom aren't like on the best of terms, but I also know that she has so much like trauma as well. Like that, and that's the one thing that I always take away when I try to have a conversation with her. She told me, she was like, you think you had it bad. But you have no idea what I had. And it's true. I don't know what it was like to have me at 15 and to have to deal with my dad when he was on drugs, having me being a single mom to me and my little sister. She's a superwoman. Right. Yeah. But I know that she struggles with seeing herself as a superwoman, which is something that I'm trying to learn and also teach my daughters. Mm-hmm. So
for sure, it's a lot. It's a lot to.
Yeah, and just how old is your mom now? Your mom's got to be like my age.
My mom is 50.
50?
Yeah.
She's my age.
Yeah, wow. 50. And it's still, I know that when my grandfather passed, that was also something that hit her hard, you know.
Is she still in the Bronx?
Yes, she is. I try to tell her, let's go to Jersey, please.
Is she like in the same place, like kind of where you grew up?
No, so we moved. So I was raised, I'm going to say it's not it's a pretty bad part of the Bronx. I remember you said that, that was when rap, I was born around the area where rap came. Mm-hmm. I remember my husband always tells me that. So it was like around Roberto Clemente State Park, 1600 Southwark Avenue. I was there until I was 16. Then we moved by the Bronx Zoo. And that's kind of like a better place. My mom got with my stepdad, and we bought a house around there, and now she is in that house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, but a place that you were at when you were like 16 years old. Yeah?
Yeah.
So she's been there for a little while now.
Yeah. And my grandmother's been in the same place for 35 years now.
Wow.
She does not leave that apartment. I'm telling you, it is not a great place to live. The elevator is always turning off. The security system for like getting into the building, they always break it. But she's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Oh my god. Yeah. Stuck in their ways.
Yes.
I think that's the other thing that, like our parents' generation, they didn't have as many useful outlets or tools as we do today. Like where we can hop online and start just researching and like figuring things out or reading.
No, we used to have to go get this thing called the
Encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia.
I remember that.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes.
I like Emily's over there. Like, what are you guys
What
talking
is
about?
that?
I've never even heard of an Encyclopedia Britannica.
So
Are
like
those at
our
the
parents
museum?
didn't have that, you know. So that also is like something of allowing them to have the grace too, because it's like now that I'm older, it also is one of those things where damn, all of us are just trying to do the best that we possibly can.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is difficult because as a kid, some things happen to individuals that isn't their fault. So it's hard, and we see it all the time too, especially when people come into treatment that have like really tough childhood, like where you get it to the point of like, damn, I for sure understand why you're an addict, you know?
Yeah.
But because, and I love her so much, I love Joyce Meyer. You become a certain age, and now it's your turn. What are you going to do with that? Because now we have the actual capacity and power to change our lives, change the trajectory, break the generational curses and all of the things that bound or inside the family, and to really like unleash and break the shackles.
Yeah. And they do say, like, I remember when I started my journey in spirituality, they say that when you heal, you're healing 7 generations forward and 7 generations back. So it trickles everywhere. So I know that by what I'm doing, I'm affecting my children, I'm affecting my children's children, but I'm also opening the door for my mom to be more open about whatever she's gone through. Yeah. Opening the door for maybe my cousins or my grandparents to want to talk about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When people start to see you change,
exactly,
they might become curious, you know, and then start their own journey. That's one thing that I really love. So like, I really think that I want to say Alcoholics Anonymous got it right a long time ago, a long time ago. Because see, in Alcoholics Anonymous, it's a and I'm actually a Narcotics Anonymous guy because drugs is my major problem. Well, I'm my major problem, but drugs were my solution to me. We in Narcotics Anonymous, we say we are a spiritual, not religious program known as Narcotics Anonymous. And what that means is that everybody has their own opportunity to find a God of their understanding, to go on there, or even not find a God. But it is a spiritual journey, and you have to have you have to have some type of spirituality to be able to really truly recover inside of a 12-step program. Yeah. And that's what I love. See, because like for me, I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist religion, and kind of like the Catholic religion. It's very like, if you don't follow our way, you will burn in hell. And I was like, damn, I'm like, I'm toast.
Yeah.
I'm cooked.
Yeah.
And that was something that was instilled in you when you were a child, right?
Yeah. And I believe that there's spiritual abuse or spiritual trauma. And not that I don't blame the Seventh-day Adventist religion for that. Because it works for many people.
Yes.
I'm just a lot more curious than a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So for me, it turned me off to Christianity for a long time until I came back to it. But I still to this day, I didn't call myself a Christian until one day she said something to me, and I don't even think she was talking to me. She just said that I'm a follower of Christ, which for me that works because I more follow the teachings that Jesus taught. And and I don't get into the dogma of religion and like have discussions about the Bible. If I read the Bible, I'm reading it, interpreting it however I want to interpret it.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
I feel like that is pivotal.
Pivotal.
100%.
Because then I don't argue with you because you're not even the same religion as me. It's like I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay that you're Muslim or you don't have a God or whatever.
Because it's what works for you. Totally. Whatever your like it's your calling. It's your relationship.
It's your relationship. Right? My relationship. My journey.
Yes.
I don't need to argue about it. I don't need to.
And there has been, I do believe I've gone through spiritual abuse so many times in my life because honestly,
I feel like the Catholic Church.
Catholic
that's the biggest one of all of them.
And then it's always that one like person who, if you try to stray, they're like, oh no, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
If you do it this way. If you do it that way. No, this is how it's been taught. This is how you have to believe in it. And I'm like, but that's not what my brain or my soul is telling me, right? Like, what?
Usually those people are the ones that you need to run from because like, anybody telling you, like, this is the only thing, this is the only way, even in recovery, too, it's like...
I feel like that's like a narcissistic trait in spirituality. Like, it's like a narcissist trying to take spirituality and trying to instill control.
Well, I think what Jesus was actually doing was... the exact opposite of that. Yeah. And it got and it because the original, Jesus' original religion was Jew. He was a Jew. And some of he wasn't liking what was happening inside of the church.
Yes.
And so he was going and teaching what he knew to be true.
Yes.
And when you even put more emphasis on it, when Jesus would go into the villages or when he would go and he would heal the sick or cure the blind, the people in the village all of a sudden flocked to him with curiosity because they're like, who is this man?
How is he
how is he doing this? So like AA, it's like, or like people in recovery, people are then drawn, like they're attracted to this individual as opposed to this is the way. You guys are, if you don't do it this way.
You can't question it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, or else you're going to hell.
Yes. I remember, I don't know if you've seen this show. It's called The Chosen.
Yes.
Oh my God. Obsessed with that show, right? And I remember watching The Chosen. And this is also part of my spiritual awakening. I was like, I think the church took his message and messed it up.
Yes.
And I was
did. I
was so riled up. I was like, they're teaching it wrong. What is going on? I was so riled up that I'm like, okay, I don't believe this is how it's supposed to be. I'm going to follow my soul's calling. Yeah.
So true. Humans we say it all the time. Humans are what messes up churches and religion and organizations is because a human comes in and then all of a sudden, like we have our own sense of pride, sense of ego, and this, that, or the other. And it distorts exactly what the whole place. The kingdom of God is meant for the broken, not for the false perfect.
Yes.
That's what it's for. It's literally like astonishing to me because it makes me so mad. Because it's like those are the ones that Jesus was going to.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
exactly.
It's
the broken,
the lonely.
Yes.
You know, the ones
isolated,
the ones that feel like
the drug addict.
Yes.
The
hopeless, the misfit, the ones that are
prostitute.
Just all of it. The tax collector.
Like, I mean, here's it's so the thing. Like that's why when she said a follower of Christ, it like made sense to me because see what I'm not on this podcast or anything I do in my life. We had this discussion yesterday. Somebody said, you need to stop cussing. They literally told me you need to stop cussing so much. You're turning off half of the people that will want to watch your podcast. And in my mind, I thought, well, I'm not actually, because he was talking about Christians that are
trying
already
to paint the perfect Christian,
Yeah.
Right.
Like that ain't for me.
Well, here's the thing.
Honestly,
too.
I ain't the one.
Here and in my head, I'm like, Angie, don't curse too much because I can have a truck.
So can we. And like, don't get me wrong.
Apparently, I'm the worst.
She is worse than I am, which is crazy. And like, it doesn't mean that we don't try to withhold and correct our potty mouth because it does sound crazy if you're swearing or dropping F-bombs every other one, but we're not perfect.
Exactly.
And we do curse and we do, it's part of like us.
I'm not out trying to save the people that are already saved, though. I'm actually on this podcast. I'm speaking to the same people that I believe Jesus was speaking to, and that's the people that are broken. And trust and believe that if I say the F word, they understand what the fuck I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they
you know, like they understand that I've been in that same spot. Like God put me through the life that I went through so that I could go back into that same firing pit of hell and despair and loneliness and hatred and
now you
fear
have armor.
Yes.
with armor to go out and pull the other people out and show them that this is the way, you're going the wrong way. Yeah. Like I didn't know I was going the wrong way. I just knew that I was hurting, and the only thing that could stop the pain for a small amount of time was sticking a needle in my arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like I know what I know what it feels like, but I also know the way out. Mm-hmm. So come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so funny because when you talked about, I do want to go, I'm jumping around a little bit, but you talked about the crystals, you talked about the chakra and the numbers, and man, in the Seventh-day Adventist religion, all of that is from the devil.
Same with it's art.
It's like
psychics and like all the things, tarot cards, like all of it is like, oh no, mija, no, like
there you go. And listen, I love tarot cards. Like I found healing within the tarot cards because it's all what you make of it. It's all the energy that your energy.
Those
right?
Ouija boards.
That one I don't.
You don't fuck with that one.
I've seen too many scary movies.
Right? Same.
Like no.
Yeah.
But with the tarot cards, it's really cool because I've learned every card just has a meaning, and if you're connected to yourself or connected to source, right? All you're really doing is just having a visual of what it is, of what you're already feeling, because it's your energy. It's not anyone else's energy, right? There are people who could probably manipulate it and make it negative, but I feel like the way that I've done it in my journey, it has been so healing. It's been saving. Like I use it, I'll journal whatever I'm feeling, take the cards and whatever I'm like, what I'm seeing or feeling or intuitively catching. And it's been a healing resource for me.
Do you do them yourself?
I do.
See, I look at it like with everything in life, it's really your intentions and how you go into doing it. So it's like you're using it as a form of diving even deeper within yourself.
Within myself, exactly.
It's not like this,
I'm going to tell you the future.
Yeah.
Oh, these are the numbers for the lotto. Like,
and then you do nothing with it. It's like
you're
going, it's another layer of you pulling back the onion within yourself.
Yeah.
Journaling, writing, seeing.
When I am the mess. Like, I feel like there have been so many situations in my life where it's easier for me to point the finger, right? And I'll take out my tarot cards and it's like, Spirit's like, no, girl, it's you. You know, like, and that's what I found. I found like I am in my own way most of the times. And
for sure,
I need to learn how to get out of my own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you struggle with addiction yourself, or was it more so your father?
No, I've alcoholism, right?
Yep.
And that's something that in the Latin culture,
yep,
right? It's not looked at as alcoholism. It's looked as, oh, it's Friday night. Let's go. Let's do this or whatever. Oh, someone passed away. Bring out the tequila. Bring out this. Bring out that. Bottles of wine everywhere. And I grew up in, all right, so New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, it was bottles of Black Label everywhere. Like, that's just how we grew up. I will say I didn't have my first drink until I was 18. Because it wasn't something I ever, like, I even though I saw my family, it wasn't something that I cared for. But I remember at the time, I had a boyfriend. And the way, this is very TMI, but it was more like he was a narcissist. I feel like that created the trajectory also of attracting so many narcissists after that. It was a trauma bond because he gave me my first drink and it was a way of controlling, I feel. He was like, no, you have to chug it and then we'll like hang out or whatever. And I was 18. I was like, okay, sure. And I was in church. I was a church girl. I was like, okay, like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I started really analyzing my relationship with alcohol. And I think that the only way that I felt like I was okay or acceptable is if I had a drink. If I wasn't drinking, people would be like, oh, what's wrong? You have a problem, right? And that's how it was also looked at as in the Latin community. Like I could say, yeah, I don't want to drink right now. oh, all you have to do is just do it in moderation. No, for me, it's not about moderation. It's more like go hard or go home, you know? And I never found that middle ground of just being able to have one drink because it became an escape. It also became a way of me being able to say whatever I wanted to say because I couldn't say it when I was sober.
Sure.
So currently, I am still, like, I've been back and forth, right? I'm like learning. I also work in corporate America, right? Corporate America is all alcohol. Like, you're going out, that's all they have. So being a Latina in corporate America, when everyone is white, and then me not drinking, I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this. So I am currently still struggling on how to take it out and be super confident in the fact that I don't need to have a drink in order to be myself, you know?
Sure.
So that's something that I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you just hold a Sprite in your hand with a little lime on it.
Yeah. No, that might work.
And you're like literally just like, this is how,
Yeah.
if you know, because like, I'm actually way more fun. This guy's way more fun. This one.
Yeah. I can see that.
Than the one that has some alcohol in me. Because that's going to it's just going to turn bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me, no, good.
Plus, you can go home a little earlier than everybody else. You know?
Well,
and
not
then you
only
wake up,
Irish goodbye. I love that.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you're feeling
so
great.
Yeah.
And they're not feeling great.
Remembering your conversations. I like remembering getting in my own car and driving my own ass home.
Yeah, you don't say something stupid to some like especially like if you're married and you say something stupid to somebody else and you're like,
uh-oh. Yeah. Yes.
Alcohol does that.
Yeah, it really does. I know.
Which is like so funny how promoted it is in corporate America, in all of the places that you wouldn't really think is such an essential part, but it is for whatever reason.
Like cocktail hour,
right?
Happy hour.
Exactly.
Oh, we're gonna all bond over drinks, and I'm like, okay. So I'm learning how to like not have that pressure get to me.
Sure.
Right. And that is something I am currently working on. Genuinely, like I've seen it, and also, so my family has a lot of people with ADHD, right? Sure. So everyone is always loaded up on, like, since we were kids, stimulants.
Yeah.
Right. I have struggled. I think that one is honestly what gets me, because I don't want to be on stimulants, right? So I'll get off of it, and I know I can, but because I have ADHD, I see how my life falls apart in a sense. Like, I won't make this deadline, this, that. So I've been trying to find like more holistic approaches to it. And then when I get back on the stimulants, also one of the things with ADHD or like with the stimulant, you get a crash, and that crash is what makes you want a drink, because you're looking for dopamine. And that is something I've struggled with, and I've been doing it for like 3 years now, and I'm saying I'm gonna get off it. And I've microdosed. Like, microdosing was great. The only thing is I felt like it made me more tired, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to do all this work, all these deadlines, this and that. So yeah.
See, that's even an important conversation, because that was a battle for me for a long time, because I was like diagnosed, I think I was probably like 16, but I didn't go on any medication until I was like in college, and it was like a game changer.
Right. You see
really
what you can do, and then when you get off it, you're like,
well, and like these guys can attest, because like I'm with them 24/7, and my ADD is like a motherfucker. I will start so many things and not finish any of them. Or like, they had to, because I officially like moved out here, they had to literally hire somebody to come in to help me like organize my spot, because I was like circles. So, and it still would have been, if they didn't hire this woman, I would have still had a second bedroom. And I like I like go to try, and like I pick up things, and then I'll like
I get bored.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like my brain is like wild.
Yeah, and if it's like boring, I will not do it.
I know, it's so bad.
So bad. And I'm like,
but I get that.
I need to find
yeah,
it.
I struggle, because I stopped taking stimulants for it's been a really long time, and I can see the effects of like my life, but it's not nearly like, it's not catastrophic, you know,
Yeah.
because I also have like in my early 20s when I first tried to get sober, I also abused my stimulant too. So and then I relapsed and stuff. So it's a slippery slope for me because it's like and I think a lot of people that struggle with addiction too fall in that category of like, well, I'm not drinking and using like I used to. Now my doctor has prescribed something that actually like I do need because I was diagnosed and took all the tests and like did the whole shebang. But I can abuse that too.
Yes.
And I have.
It's a very slippery slope.
It's a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
So I continue to just live in my chaotic mess.
I was actually going to ask, like, did you find a way to, like, I guess, organize yourself in a sense?
A little bit. I mean, like, I do try to the best of my ability, is handle anything that is, like, a super major priority. I'll use my divorce as being number one, making sure I get those types of things done, or, like, anything that we have to do that is, like, really of importance. I try to manage that, but when it comes to little other exterior, like outside things that are not as crucial to my daily life, those fall short.
Yeah.
But it's difficult.
It is.
So I get it. I get the roller coaster, because you're right. Because like you do notice the difference if you're on the medication,
and then when you're not.
and then when you're not, because you do. I remember, like I think I was like, I don't know, 26, before I like really relapsed. I remember trying to get off them like myself, and I remember I was like, I felt like I was detoxing. I felt like I was sleeping off of like coming off of doing meth.
Oh wow, yeah.
But I mean, I was abusing them probably.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was like,
the
I
dose
slept.
was too high.
Dude,
yeah.
I slept I could not function. I could not get out of bed, and then I was depressed. I was crying for no reason.
Yeah.
It was like really crazy, where I was like, how is this even happening? Then this is like an actual drug that I got prescribed to my doctor.
Literally always say, I feel like it's like legal cocaine.
For sure.
Like legal
I mean,
cocaine.
it's legal meth.
Crazy.
It's a methamphetamine.
Yeah.
It's a amphetamine.
Or amphetamine.
Depends on which one. There's a few different.
Yeah, I know.
ones,
Yeah.
but,
They've
like,
changed the game too.
Adderall is amphetamine salt, specifically. I think there's it also has some Adderall has 4 different
It does.
types of amphetamine.
Yes.
Oh,
in it,
wow.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's
But it does.
so many.
But one of them is not methamphetamine. Meth is a specific type of amphetamine, but that's actually can be prescribed by a doctor, and you can get it at a pharmacy
Yes.
for narcolepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what is that one called?
Dexedrine or something like that.
So that's
Might
the
be
one I'm on. So,
no,
yeah, I think it's called Vyvanse. I don't know.
Oh, Vyvanse is another
is,
form of Adderall.
Is
Yeah.
a amphetamine salt.
Yeah.
There's dextroamphetamine,
Okay.
methamphetamine.
I thought Vyvanse was dextro.
Might be dextro.
It
Yeah.
might be.
It
Huh?
might be dextro.
Because that's the one they say that's the one that is less abused, because
Yes,
it has
you're right.
to be absorbed by your gut or something. Like it's not straight like Adderall.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look. There's people that need that in their life is manageable.
Sure.
I have ADD. I don't know if I have the H, but I always had ADD. I have a really hard time, just like both of you, probably focusing.
Yeah.
The problem is that I found methamphetamines when I was 13 years old, and I became a methamphetamine addict. And now I have to deal with life naturally, because even an Adderall will set me off on a destructive path.
It's the dopamine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kick of dopamine.
Yep.
And it's so you can get addicted to that dopamine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a different neural pathway in our brains
Yeah.
that I've realized, you just, once you open that floodgate,
Yeah.
very difficult
And
to close.
for me, it's like, what if they had put me on something and diagnosed me appropriately when I was 13, would I have become a methamphetamine addict? Who knows? But I'm where I'm at now, and I've actually learned how to focus. I do like some things though. Like I'm with you, man. If it's boring to me,
It's just boring.
I've come to the conclusion that I'm not gonna do it, so I just
Yeah.
don't. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I get to choose what I do and I don't do. And what's cool about the way I set up my life is that nobody truly can tell me what to do except for my wife. And even then, sometimes it's debatable if I want to fight it, but that's never usually worth it. But the truth is that the things that I can't do, that I know I'm not good at, I hire somebody to do it. You know, I have like you ask how we manage stuff. Sometimes the girl next door manages it for us.
That's amazing. But then what for the people who can't hire someone? I guess that's like my question. Like, I don't think I can hire anyone.
You will. You get to the point where you can.
You can. Yeah.
Or you surround yourself. Like, I mean, it just depends. I mean, if you're an yes, delegate.
I have to learn.
And I
Delegating
I love
is
lists.
huge.
Yeah.
Delegating is huge.
Yeah.
I like lists too.
I love lists.
Lists really do help me to stay like on topic. And I also have learned to some of the things that I have to do that I don't want to do. I just don't want to do. I don't want to do them. Like, you know, where it hasn't crippled me where it's like I'm falling short on doing something that is like, if I had kids, like picking up my kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I don't squirrel brain that far off.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like making sure I set realistic things of getting stuff done as opposed to I used to write a list that was like out of this fucking world. And I'm like, dude, I did 2 things. Yeah. And then I stress myself out because I didn't do the other.
List.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would feel so bad anytime I didn't finish. Like, I feel I would do the list. The list would get me so motivated. I'd do maybe 1 or 2 things. And if the list is still there, I'm like, oh, I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
Like I didn't finish the list. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the only, the caveat to the list is that making sure it's the important things that are a must that need to get done, and also not making it 100 things.
Yeah.
Because then I'll get overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also giving yourself grace. Like, that's life. You know, life is difficult, and life is going to, some days I'm going to feel like I can conquer the world. I could do a million things. And some days it's like, dude, you know what? I can wake up today, have my coffee, and get my kids to where they got to go. That's my day.
I think that the hustle culture is something that is very hard to like turn off, right?
For sure.
And I'm saying this for you as well, for my mom's generation, and you're part of that. Like, that's where we learned it from. And as a millennial, like, it's so freaking hard to turn it off.
For sure.
Because the way that I feel is like, if I turn it off, I'm letting down that generation, the future generation, my generation. And it's like, it's so much pressure that I put on myself. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
You're letting down the Gen Zs, man, if you turn it off, because them Gen Zs need to learn how to hustle a little bit harder.
Or
I'm not talking about you specifically, Emily, because you hustle hard. But you're a rare breed in that Gen Z culture.
For sure. But I get that, though,
breed.
because it's like you feel
Look,
like
I got a millennial right here.
Or like you're not going to
like
make
I'm
it.
gonna
Or
miss my mark. Like I'm not, like someone is going to overpass me. Yes. And I think that that's it's difficult. That hustle culture, like, it's embedded in us.
For sure.
Right? Not in the future generation.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Us millennials, like, we're like, no, we got to make it. We got to make it.
Well, especially it's like having parents that came over into America. It's like they hustled for the American dream. Yeah. And they didn't quit. They didn't have this so-called time off.
Yeah, they didn't complain.
They got up and went to work.
Exactly.
And had multiple.
No sick days.
There was none.
I don't remember.
There was no paternity leave.
Fuck no.
I don't think
it's
so.
for especially for a man. Not even.
No.
My
That's what
mom
I said.
worked
Oh my
until her water broke. It's like
yeah,
crazy because I'm 41 years old and I never remember as a kid my dad ever taking a sick day. Not one. Which is insane.
It's insane. And then if you do take a sick day, don't you feel so guilty?
Right.
You're like, I don't want to be sick. Why am I sick? But usually when you get sick, it's the universe telling you to slow down. Yeah.
That's what God does. God will slow us down when we are not willing to take the time, because we do live in a different culture now too.
We do.
You know, where it is important to take care of, like, do the meditation, do those little things that unfortunately our parents didn't have, where even if they had maybe the opportunity to, they didn't take it because they weren't too knowledgeable about it, or were not worried about hustling to put food on the table.
Yeah.
You know, where we now have those types of tools that we get to pull from and actually take advantage of.
Yeah. It's funny to think, like, I feel like maybe just 20 years ago, mental health was a luxury. And now we're transitioning into it's a right? Like, everyone knows it's a right, but you still have people who see it as a luxury.
For sure. 50 Cent says it too. He's like, what's his quote?
You're going to quote 50 Cent?
Yeah, it's fucking good though. He's like, I don't have time, or I can't be, how I was brought up, like, I don't have time to be depressed. And I kind of believe that to a degree. You know, there are going to be some times of individuals that are like really like, you know, that need to get some help, like medication or something to pull them out of a really dark spot. But how many of us, I can make myself depressed for sure, and stay in the bed and think about all the things that I fucked up on or didn't do or was not great at or something like that. Where like I can easily put myself in a really deep dark depression.
Yeah.
One of the best ways to get out. One of the best ways to get out of depression is to get up and move.
Yeah,
it is because depression is something, you know, in your brain, and
yes,
you're stuck in a sadness, and I mean, one of the best forms of getting your mental health back in balance is moving and doing, because whether it's anxiety or whatever, if you can just go and start moving your body, you start changing the chemicals inside of your brain. You know, so there's a lot to it. I mean, we could dive we could dive into a whole episode on what we're just talking about right now. But it is time, Angie.
Okay.
You're amazing, dude.
Oh, thanks. You guys are amazing. I feel like
pleasure.
We're changing the world.
Yeah. And congratulations to you for having the courage to continue on.
Thank you.
You know, I'm sorry for your losses, and especially them being so close together, but it's gotten you closer to your specific calling, and for you to help other people that are either walking through that currently, or even your own personal journey to get to where you are today with you and your family and your progress, because it's important.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're right. Like, my journey got me here.
Yeah.
Good.
Guys, look at that.
And thank you for coming down. We really appreciate
of
it.
course.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This was nice.
It was. It was very good. It was very good. The nerves went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You killed it.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.